to gather together. Join me, Yelta, my good friends Kariri and Rubicon. Let's sit back, relax, and have a chat about Final Fantasy XIV. I'm going to order the first run of drinks, guys.
Yeah.
What do we want to talk about?
Let's talk about PAX.
PAX East. PAX East had a panel about Final Fantasy XIV where Yoshi P talked a little bit about Heavensward. Did you guys check it out?
Of course.
Every minute of it.
Every minute of it. I actually dragged my ass out of bed to watch that. I might have been trying to get triple triad cards till 4 a.m. the night before, but I still got up, right? Because it's all about the cards.
All about the cards. I was right there with you.
So what did we see? We saw probably like 80% of stuff most of us saw at, FanFest or whatever. They talked about there's a new landmass, there's flying mounts, there's 3 new jobs. And all of that, I'm still very excited about. There was a couple new things, several old things. What did you guys take away from it? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was probably the release date. I was very excited to have a deadline for all my in-game catching up to do. But other than that, they showed some of the new equipment that's coming out, and I freaked for the Paladin equipment.
Did you like it or hate it? I know some other people in our free company are like, I quit my job. I don't like that AF or whatever.
I know the Scholar AF was not that popular. Our free company, our coil static Scholar Radiant was truly unhappy about their gear. And honestly, after looking at it all, I do think that one stood out as not nearly as cool as the other ones.
White mage is hot. Oh my god.
Yes.
I would look like a little nun.
Nun hot.
Ruby, you too.
Yeah, I suppose. I do have the Pope hat, so I could go nun. I could go Pope. Whatever.
Some people loved or hated the monk one. I thought the black mage one was cute, but I have to go back and look. But I got the feeling that the body piece was like short, and that bothers me. It's like a black mage should have a really long.
Oh, you don't want to see the legs? We don't ever get to see black mage legs.
Okay, but I'm a Lalafell, so I don't even hardly have legs.
You're not going to see the legs anyways. Yeah.
Little stubs.
I really like the black mage one. The hat is very jaunty.
Yeah.
The white mage one, I can't wait to see Sister Rubicon in all his glory, And what else? The Scholar, though, the hat is so ridiculous. It's like a Mad Hatter hat with a freaking monocle built in.
But
it's ridiculous.
That was the ugly black mage hat we had for so long, wasn't it? Right, the top hat. Does not look. I don't like it.
The Weavers is cooler.
The Weavers is cooler, and that's instantly what I thought of. Is like, I love my Weaver's hat, but that's ugly. I did like that they not only all of our, Disciple of War and Disciple of Magic jobs all get a new outfit, and whether you love them or hate them, it's new. Mm-hmm. But all of the crafting and all of the gathering appeared to get something new too, and that's cool. Only that means maybe I have to get a new outfit for each class again. I'm kind of spoiled now having the same crafting body for every crafting class.
Oh, definitely. I am a big fan of the Paladin feather motif, though, on my Paladin gear. I'm still stuck on that. But yeah, I do think it's great that all the gathering and crafting classes got a little love, too.
Very good. Except for I didn't like the fisherman's hat.
I think the fisherman hat is just silly. I didn't think it looked like a fishing hat.
I actually think it looks authentic. Yeah, I actually kind of like the fisherman's hat. I live in the South. If you turn onto your local redneck channel on Sunday afternoons or Saturday afternoons, you can catch Bass Pro Fishing, and they wear those silly hats with the sunglasses, and I think it looks pretty authentic to me. Just me.
All right, so it's based on something.
I think it's based on Hillbilly Jim's Bass Pro Fishing Extravaganza on Saturdays at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m.
That's fantastic.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I'm looking forward. Well, and this will probably be and there's some discussion. Is this AF2 or was the upgraded items AF2? It doesn't matter because that doesn't matter. But so like AF was pretty easy to get for all of us. I'm assuming this is really just the level 60 starter equipment. Do you get that? So even though you'll get to this and you'll either love it or hate it, I'm sure there's going to be a variety of other equipment to obtain.
Well,
So you can use all your glamour crystals.
I'm guessing it's going to be probably top tier when we get into 3.0, but it won't.
Yes.
It won't be King of the Hill for long. I don't think the AF2 is going to be just forever up there because we'll be getting new tomestones and there's always more stuff to get. But yeah, I think it'll be the next echelon to hit.
Right. Yep. And I bet you'll be rewarded it the same way you got your original AF, which was
that's story
just
then.
going
Get a little bit
through the class quest, job quest. So that's good with me. Good with me. And then eventually we'll all get to the raid.
Alexander.
Yes, they discussed Alexander, the new raid dungeon, and they said there's going to be a normal story mode and a hard mode as well.
That's right. A story mode and the hard mode. Yeah.
That makes sense to me because everything else in the game has been pretty much, other than raiding, has been, well, not everything, but most everything else has been, here's the normal mode you do to get through your story. It probably doesn't have drops or at least nothing interesting. And then you come back later and you're like, I'm awesome. I'm going to try to kill this hard shit. And then there's really good drops. So I'm okay with that. If that means that they will not nerf the hard mode, I'm good with it. Because that is what's driving me crazy right now is we're barely, our raid group is barely ahead of where they're nerfing shit. We're in Final Coil, but I'm so scared. I want to finish that shit before they nerf it. And,
I do too, definitely.
And maybe if there's a normal mode, because I do want everyone to see the storyline. I want everyone to experience the fights. But I'd like to still, like my poor husband just got his first level 50. He just did Leviathan storyline mode today. He will never do the first coil turns at their original intended difficulty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he will outgear it very quickly. There will be an echo buff, and they've fucked with coil 2, the second turns. They've nerfed so badly, like 6 and 7. We talked about this before. He will never get to experience Blighted Bouquet as something that actually kills you.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I do wish they would stop nerfing content. I don't even mind the nerf. I don't even mind. We've talked about this before. I know Yelta and I have, at least, that it's just, if they're going to do this, they're doing it too soon. It should be at least another patch later, in my opinion.
Agree. Except I don't think at that point maybe there was enough content to go around that they felt like that. With 3.0, they're saying they're adding as much content as is in 2.0 now. So maybe because there'll be enough content to go around, they don't have to do it that way. I know they're looking at a lot of stuff, redoing the way they've done things. The story and hard, the loot systems are going to be different. The differences with what level will start characters and what's happening with classes and things. So there's so many different changes. I feel like 3.0 is going to be a reboot, not as drastic as 2.0 to 1.0, but it is almost like they're building a new game. I don't mind this so much, and I really do go back to what Yelta's saying. I had to take a step back because I was really of the camp that's like, do not. This sounds horrible, but it's like I don't want it to be too casual. I really want to have I want the intensity. I want to be there. I feel like the final coil is for 1.0 players to finish that story. I do want other players to experience the content, though. I don't want to be some kind of prick elitist that says I did that, because I can't be.
You elitist bitch.
I'm banging my head against turn 11. How can I be an elitist prick? But I do think it's better that they have two modes than to nerf the mode that I'm trying to clear, because it takes some pride away, and I really don't want that pride taken away.
Yep, I'm right there with you. So we're gonna have new lands, and we're gonna have new mounts, and we're gonna have personal airships and Grand Company created airships and all this other stuff. And they show us lots of videos, and I'm very excited. But I was most excited to know when I can actually request my vacation time at work. Right? That
Definitely.
that was there were people who said we're not going to get the release date, and I'm like, "Oh my god, they said spring, so we're getting the release date." And they gave us the release date. The release date is June 23rd, and early access is June 19th. You can pre-order your collector's edition or on March 16th, which is coming up. So
Mhm.
I hope you've all saved your pennies, because Christ, I need that collector's edition.
Need that dragon
I need the dragons.
figurine.
Well, I'm more worried about all the in-game stuff,
Sure.
right? So when 2.0 came out, I already owned like 2 collector's editions from 1.0. I'm like, how do I get all the things, all the in-game things? So I think that I don't know if like GameStop has special things, or other people are going to have special things. Amazon might have when I played Defiance, where you ordered it from, you got different in-game items and different collector's items. It sounds like there's only 3 ways to get Heavensward. You get the collector's edition physical, the regular edition, and then there's going to be a combo one, right? So seduce all your friends who haven't played and have them buy the original game bundled with Heavensward. Because, there's some people who don't play and they're insane. And so they should join us. So I'm hoping there's not going to be 67 different ways to order the game with different, minions and mounts and whatnot.
Rewards for everything different. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to order 4 copies of the game to get everything on my character. I may not have mentioned this, but I'm a completionist. I need to have all the boxes checked. All my lines have to be crossed off on my to-do list.
Definitely. Yeah, no, and I have the same feeling. It's still bothering me that I don't have the minion that you got with the first collector's edition. Because I did
Oh,
not get it.
yeah.
I got a regular one. Well, I think I do now. I think you sent me a collector's edition
Well-
because I didn't have the
Well, you could
collector's
well
edition.
you could upgrade to the original collector's edition, right?
I think that's what
I
it
think
was.
yeah, I think that's what you can upgrade. Well, and I had to have I'm dying because I do not have the Moogle postman minion.
Oh,
By the time I got in line at not PAX at FanFest, I got in line at FanFest. They were gone. Right? It wasn't even the last day. They were gone.
I've been thinking about getting one. I know they had them on the website for a while.
I may have accidentally pre-ordered 2 of them. When I say accidentally, I mean it, because I thought I ordered it and then I logged in, but I must have had more than one account at the time. So if we get extra Moogle plushies, we'll give one away in a contest or something, I'm sure.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, schedule your vacation in June, guys. And this is really breaking away from it. There's also a Reddit PAX interview, and one of the things they talked about immediately was the fact that they're going to stagger when stuff is unlocked, right? So you might be able to download the game, log in, but I think Alexander's not going to be available that first 2 weeks.
That's what we're
Okay.
understanding. It's been asked. It was asked on the forums today, actually by one of the BG members, Carolway, who also plays on Excalibur, had asked, "Will there be staggering, or what people thought about that?" There was a lot of vitriol. There was a lot of hate that came out of it, and then this interview came out. And they confirmed that they will be staggering it. I think, is it 2 weeks? I don't want to be tied down to that, but I think they will be
Yoshi
staggering
said
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, he said we do plan to have a 2-week gap before we open up the continent. So you can play Heavensward, but it sounds like you can't do some things. And I support this, but maybe I'm super fucking casual. But I support this because while I'm going to take that week off, probably, I don't want to feel like I have to skip cutscenes or, fast forward anything or ignore something I wanted to do just to get to the first raid or just to get to something.
Well,
so
yeah,
this
some of the
kind of
things
makes us pace ourselves.
Some of the things that were posted on there were, well, if this is a BG member posting this, what's it going to matter if they stagger the content? Because are they just going to go and beat the raid at level 50 and then put off the level 60 content? And I think that's what they're trying to avoid, whether or not you're in an end game raid group or not. They don't want people to skip the new areas, experience content by trying to be world first Alexander beater.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I do know some people who do that. They basically log in, do the bare minimum. There might be world first or third or whatever, and then they log out, and it's like, and I'm sorry, I don't understand you, but there's so much more to do. There's so much more to experience. I enjoy reading the cutscenes. I was doing stuff with my husband today, and he was reading all the cutscenes, and we were running dungeons, and he was reading we did Tamtara hard. He was reading all the notes, and there's story. There's, stop and smell the roses, right?
I think I'm hoping I know it's a, long shot, but I'm hoping this means that you won't have people, for instance, in Party Finder on the second day going, Alexander turn 1, know your shit or get the hell out, because before anyone else has leveled their character up to 60. So
well,
I'm thinking it'll give those people who don't have, because some people can't take the whole first week off, some people can't even take a single day off, and it will give those people some time to level up and try the content and follow the story and be ready to, when they open the raid, be ready to raid.
Well, even in 2.5, I slept in a little bit that day. I had the day off, but I slept in a little bit that day. By the time I logged in and did my second new dungeon, people were angry with me that I did not know the mechanics. Right?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That is not fair.
On actual patch day, the morning of the patch. Yeah, that was just the silliest thing I'd ever heard.
I think I tweeted it and put it on line chat, and people were like, Christ, I'm at work today. I won't even be able to download the patch for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of with Yoshi P. Let us download the game. Let us play through the storyline. But, maybe put the brakes on a little bit before everyone's losing their fucking minds that you don't know everything.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there for sure.
All right, what else? Was there anything else in the PAX
They
panel?
talked a little about the new jobs. They talked, I know we all know it's Dark Knight, Astrologian, and Machinist, but they gave us a little bit more detail and a few more drawings, and it was very exciting to me, I thought. Especially, there's a tank, a healer, DPS, and the Dark Knight. They gave a little bit. They said it's going to utilize MP more than the other two tanks, and then it's drawing on the power of darkness. And they actually showed, some of the animations had the swirling darkness around it, and it was a very cool-looking animations.
Well, they very much have told us that darkness does not mean he's evil, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean evil. So, and Dark Knight or Dark, what was it? There was another dark something. Does not always. Oh, I'm thinking of WoW. Sorry, wrong game. That's the only tank in WoW I ever leveled. Was the I can't think of the name, but anyway, it was all like, I hurt you, so I get my life back, kind of stuff. It's not going to be evil, our Dark Knight, but it will use a different mechanic. I'm really kind of hoping that Astrologian actually has some sort of different mechanic. Um,
They did talk a little bit about that the Astrologian was the healer, that they're going to use a star globe and some sort of cards.
Right. They'll also have
Yeah.
Stances. Yep.
Oh, well, that was the new thing to me, was stances. So is that cleric stance all over again, or is it something else?
Well, it's probably something more permanent. I would think it'd be more like the monk's stances,
Like-
something that
Oh,
you know, but
I
we
didn't
don't
think of that.
But we don't know. I mean, yeah, it sounds pretty basic if you go from cleric stance to, you know, fight hurtful and healing, but maybe there's got to be something else to it.
Mhm.
Well, some people were really upset that Machinist has support abilities. They're like, I wanted to be 100% damage dealer, and it's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looked like they could play it a couple different ways though, because they said, you know, well, the machinist is the DPS obviously, and they have different gadgets and attachments for their weapons, and they also have turrets, and the turrets, it sounded like, could either support allies or there were extra damagey things that they could do as well. So I think if you're going to be well-rounded, it's going to be something like Bard, where, you know, you're DPSing like crazy, but you also have to sing your songs, you know, to help out the
Mhm.
party. So I'm assuming it's going to be something like that.
Yeah, and I keep thinking about some of the newer dungeons. Which one is it? Oh, I don't remember which one. Wanderer's Palace? No. I don't remember, but the bosses put out totems or something. So I'm thinking it's kind of like those kind of mechanics,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's the new
So-
Wanderer's Palace. Yep.
Yeah, the new Wanderer's Palace. So the boss would like summon these totems and all these other things, and they had effects. And that's what I really think it's going to be like.
And that would make sense. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry, not. I think part of me feels like not. While we do have the Trinity, we have tanks, healers, and DPS. DPS is split between, you know, melee and ranged.
Mhm.
There is a place for support. Bards need to sing songs. You know, there might be some mitigation. Even on Black Mage, I throw out. I can't think of it right now, but that ability, Eye for an Eye. Even on Black Mage, I throw that out.
Oh sure.
Or even, you know, so there are abilities that are not your core purpose. It might hurt your DPS or whatever, but it might. I don't get a huge EP about numbers. I want my party to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if my damage dips to sing a song, even if my damage dips to cast Eye for an Eye, that's better.
Oh, definitely. I do think, and this is a whole longer conversation, but I do think they kind of pigeonholed us a little bit. Or they put some limitations on us by having a 4-person party, because it does limit the ability to have a pure support class
Yeah.
or job.
Mhm.
I do think that's going to be a major limitation going forward, because they're having to combine, which I don't mind the combo jobs. I think Bard being a ranger is kind of a really neat idea. I think Machinist being a DPS and being able to have support abilities is a really neat idea. But it's going to be much more difficult to add things that are simply support going forward.
Well, I don't think they will.
That's exactly it.
It's
Yeah.
not going
Yeah,
that way. I
so-
want to say it's even been brought up before. Somebody's talked about the support role, and that a game of this pace doesn't support it. If this was 11 or a slower paced game that could do more support stuff, or maybe something that was just full on PvP style, like some of the Korean MMOs where you do have support classes, because that's all you're doing is taking somebody else's castle or breaking somebody's crystal or what have you. You can see that, but that doesn't seem to be the nature of this game. It doesn't seem that way because also they've combined abilities. Your Ruin 2 also blinds targets. Your Stone also puts a heavy on the target. You know, your debuffs are tied into some of your regular abilities. I just don't see them doing that unless it's way down the road and they've kind of run out of some ideas or built content around that. That being said, I think they have recognized that the four-person stuff is very limiting, and I don't think that they're going to do a lot more. I mean, it was asked, right, about the four-person content.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, it was asked. I believe it was during PAX about the if there'll be more four-person content going forward, and Yoshida says no. We're really sticking with 8. I think, what did he say, Yelta? It was well, what do you like?
Yoshi P liked the larger party content.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, he was like, I'm a little bit more hardcore. Well, and the entire thing bothers me. I think 4-man should be like learning, easing. So 2.0 was rewritten in such a way to make it very easy to someone who is brand fucking new to an MMO. And I think even the devs have said it, that 3.0 might take off the kid gloves a little bit, right? But my biggest issue, and I don't think they're going to ever fix it, is 4-man parties are lame. And, well, they're fine for learning things, because you don't want to be confused, right? I'm the tank, you're the healer, and you guys are the DPS. But when you get past that, 8-man content should be, you're the tank, we have a couple healers, and we have all these DPS plus support roles. I love support roles. I played them in other games.
Me too. I love
them.
Oh,
yeah, I love it. So what I really hope, and I don't think it's coming in Heavensward, but maybe someday there's a tank, 2 healers, and not 8, maybe not even 8-member parties, or not. Well, definitely. Well, 8's fine. Not 4-member parties. 4-member parties should be at least 5 or 6 in my mind. 4-member parties should not even exist after level 50. To me,
I agree. I do. It's extremely limiting. It's that simple.
Well, and when you go, we went into Labyrinth of the Ancients today, and there's really no reason to have 6 tanks in there, right?
No.
None.
Even on the only place where you would need 6 tanks is you've got 4 tanks on the towers, and
Behemoth,
1 on the main, and the remaining ones are picking up ads. But
now everybody's DPS is so high, though. Does it really warrant that? If you throw a regen on each of them or something? And
well, if I'm on Scholar, I can do the tower and send my fairy out. So it's unnecessary. Some of them might be us gearing out stuff, but still, as a rule, I find 4-person parties uninteresting.
Well,
and
they
lame.
did say and Yoshida hasn't been 100% on all the promises that he made, cough uncough housing, but
I want my house.
One thing that he did say was that at some point you'd be able to either bring chocobos into these 4-man dungeons, or you would be able to hire some kind of legion of people, like a 3-man party, or you could have an escort type deal and bring in NPCs that would.
Well, and I like that for a game that's bleeding subscriptions, but I really feel like to do anything worthwhile, you should have to at least play with other people.
But let's say 4 years down the road, you've got this little bit of
the road.
You've got this little bit of 4-man content that nobody does anymore. Yeah, bring a chocobo and a couple NPCs in there with you. But I don't want going forward to build stuff on 4-man content that's going to hinder us in 4.0 and beyond.
Yeah, in 11, when Kariri and I anyway went back, I loved that. What was a companion system? What was it called?
Yeah, it was something along the lines of companion system.
Yeah,
yep.
So you could like unlock 3 other NPCs,
like cool ass NPCs, the ones from the story.
They were awesome. Yeah, no, they were great, and I enjoy that system. But in my mind, that is the last ditch effort to keep content relevant.
I do like the idea of being able to run through a dungeon with my chocobo and level it up that way.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that should be my companion through storyline by any stretch of the imagination. I thought that was really, really gross that I could take, like from 11, I could take my new companion buddies, I could form my own party with them and go do content, like actual
Yeah, yeah.
storyline, main city content.
But you're
That
looking at a 10-year-old game or what have you.
Yeah.
exactly. See, so I wouldn't, I'm saying I wouldn't want something like that in 14 while the content is still relevant. But yeah, if it were aging and we're down the line a little ways, I'd be fine with that. And even now, I wouldn't mind being able to run through a level 20 dungeon with my chocobo and a friend and their chocobo in my pre-made group. You know, I don't
Well,
think that should be a problem.
well, that's where the term relevant content comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything that's like 6 months or a year old, maybe yes, I can run with my chocobo or whatever. I don't know. There are articles that we might get to use our Magitech armor.
That'd be sweet.
Or
That would
yeah,
be really sweet. Yeah.
yeah. They're you know, I I do like that system where I can't find a party, but at the same time, I don't know. At the same time, as long as a duty finder queue gets you in there in 10 minutes, it should be fine. Once you can't get into something in a duty finder queue, no. Just go ahead and let me do it solo. I don't care. All right, what else?
I don't know what else.
I don't
Something that was
know.
cool that was pointed out that I saw today. I was checking the Twitters and looking at Reddit. I don't know if this is all actually related or not, but I'm going to try to piece the clues together. Bayonne had tweeted something about can't believe he had been presenting this and he kept missing it completely. And he didn't say what it was, and there were some theories. One was a really good theory that was it was the statues that are found in Shiva, the Shiva battle of the, and it looks like Shiva and the dragon kind of intertwined within a staff. You can find them in the battlefield. They're like little torches. There was another area where it showed that, but I think the Shiva side was ripped off of it. So that was pretty neat.
Oh.
But then they showed the same image again, and somebody else on Reddit was like, if you look at the statues that are in some of these images, the floating continent is the floating continent from Final Fantasy VI. So for those that have played Final Fantasy VI, there's 3 statues that are on the floating continent. They're moved in different positions. It causes an imbalance of magic, and you've got the second half of Final Fantasy VI, where the World of Darkness or the World of Ruin, apologies. And so they see those statues in these images. So I don't know if that's what Bayonne was talking about, but there is some definite Final Fantasy VI throwback there.
And this was on Twitter?
This was on Twitter, a combination of Twitter and Reddit today. If I'm fast enough, I might be able to pull it up on the Reddit feed and actually show or talk about the actual statues on that. But I thought that was a really neat find.
That's great. Yeah, that's not one I had heard about today. I'll have to look into that too. I was just looking. They also did just a little developers blog on the PAX East. So they got a couple cute pictures of the building and out front and the crowds and the little Mog hats and chocobo hat crowns, And they did do the Shiva fight. And they were giving away Shiva t-shirts if you could beat her. So that was pretty exciting too.
Oh, I want one of those Shiva t-shirts so bad.
I know, right?
Oh, I know.
Oh, I honestly wanted the little. Okay, so like Burger King has crowns, but there was a picture of like Moogle and something else crowns.
Chocobos, yeah.
It's like oh yeah, I had Gishel greens. So I'm like, oh man, how did I not? I want those. I want that.
Yeah, they also have a picture of Yoshi P posing with a couple of cosplay people. One of them's in Paladin AF and one of them's in Bard AF, and they look pretty fantastic. So yeah, just a cute little developer's blog too.
Oh, that reminds me, the new race. They actually showed footage of their running animations. They showed a screenshot of I'm assuming there's 2 tribes. One seemed light skinned, one seemed dark skinned, and they
Probably.
said something about, well, yeah, they said something about you can either make, your aura, how do you say it?
Aura? I don't know.
Aura? Yeah,
Aura. Yep.
perhaps. You can either make your aura girl look cute or like a succubus. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I did notice that the men, and they might have just because they were playing with the sizing or something, the men looked enormous next to the women aura. But like Yelta just said, they did say they were highly customizable. So I'm hoping the heights are like that too, because the difference was just not proportional.
All the male faces looked irritated.
They did. I noticed that too.
They
They did. They all looked like angry or annoyed or something. I don't know. It was interesting, and the the girls looked very feminine and dainty or something. I don't know.
They were like tiny. At least they didn't have the run animation of the, was it Midlander females?
Yes. Yeah.
Or they're like, I'm doing it in real life. They're like, I run like a girl. With their elbows going back.
They went for, you could tell they went for elegant and kind of more feminine than, but they didn't go for, how do I politely say, the kitty horror approach. They they kind of went with more understated, I think, just slightly.
Yeah. Well, and I hope we can get to. I'm not gonna change. Well, maybe with one Fantasia, I might change to that race briefly. But I'm not gonna stay there. Yelta's a Lalafell, and she's gonna stay a Lalafell probably. I don't know.
I know. One of our free company member Cinnamon, she had put on Twitter too that she was going to turn one of her retainers into an aura, maybe, but
Yeah,
definitely
just
not
the
her.
retainer, not her. It's not for me.
Yeah, a retainer's the way to go. Well, and I played, was it Draenei in WoW? I do
Mhm.
like that dragonkin kind of race thing, so I'm part of me's tempted to switch.
Oh, I'm probably
But-
going to have scales for a month or so, definitely.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have this personal aversion. It might be my failing. I do not want to jump on the boat with what's popular this month. So what I don't
Yeah.
know what that makes me. But so like when like 2.0 came out, I'm like, not doing Arcanist. I'm not doing, because everyone's doing Arcanist. And when Ninja came out, I'm like, not doing it Ninja. But now that's the only thing I don't have at 50. I have to do it. So yeah, eventually I will do it, but not right now.
Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that was interesting this week?
I don't know about this week.
This week. Well, we did something personally this week that we're proud about, but no one cares.
We care. I'm pretty proud.
We care. We cleared turn 10 and we couldn't be happier. Our current coil static since 2.0 has shifted, adjusted. We've left free companies. We've added and replaced friends. People have gotten girlfriends and left, real lives and left. Apparently we're, no life losers. Do you have a neck beard, Ruby?
Do I have a what?
A neck beard.
A neck beard? Yes, actually, it's sprout. I need to shave it.
So we're like neck beard losers, but yeah. So Novica's Bosom, who we're all a part. We're all three of us are founding members. We merged with a couple of other free companies, and we have created a pretty damn good, coil static. We did clear turn 10, and we're working in 11. I'm really hoping, and we should talk about this. We might have mentioned it. 3.0 date has been set, so I need to win all this stuff before then.
Right.
I would really,
As a
really
matter of
like
pride.
to finish coil, definitely.
Yeah, well, my personal pride, I don't have to be world first, but I need to clear shit before they fucking nerf it.
Yes.
We're not world first. Even
No,
if we beat it,
I
we won't be
never.
world first.
No, but I'm just saying I have no desire to be world first. But I want to clear shit before they nerf it. I want to do stuff before it's outdated. But I'm super proud of my group, our group.
We do have a phenomenal group, and we're still, we do have some new members and we do have some old members, and we're putting our heads together and learning how to communicate and make everything work together, and it's been great. It's a learning experience, and it always is. But I see us going a long way.
Our biggest downfall is we do not have a ton of time a week.
Right.
So
Yep.
yeah, so I think we could focus more time to coil a week, but that's not going to happen because I love these people too much to say change your entire fucking life to run 12 hours a week. So yeah, I think we do good for where we are.
Well, as a topic, if we're talking about this, I mentioned this earlier, and I wouldn't call it profound, but it's just the way I feel about things, and that's I would rather make memories than make trophies than than actually clear stuff. Like I would
Yes.
rather spend a month and a half on a certain tier of content than run a couple times with some people, say screw these losers, but this one dude is pretty good, and then pull him out, and then do something with somebody else, and honestly just be an opportunist. Excuse me. To clear content. Now, I'm not saying my way to play is the best way to play, but that's the way I play because 10 years down the road, I may not remember the mistakes made or how I might remember some epic victory, but I'm not going to remember every victory, but I'm going to remember the names of the people I played with and the feelings I had playing with those people through that content.
I would rather clear content with people I like who are trying really hard versus get carried through something
With
where
people who are going to treat you like shit. Or
yes,
yeah.
I would rather just do stuff with people I like.
And some may argue, well, I'm not getting carried. I'm the best in the groups that I'm in. Well, even so, knowing that you're the best, find a group of people that that you care about and help them through the content. But I don't think that some people who say I'm the best care to help other people through content unless there's Gil involved. It's let me find the best group of people possible. And I understand that frame of thought too, but I'm not one of the best that's in the game. And you guys are great, but there's probably better in the game I could run with. Sorry.
Oh, that's true
Sorry.
of all of us, for sure.
But I'd rather run it with you guys.
Well, I've had offers to be cleared through turn 13, right? I've had offers to get that. Let's get your clear. Let you get your drops or whatever. And it's like, no, I want to do it legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
Words are hard. But yeah, no, I've said forever, find your people. The best way you can be happy in this game is to find your people, to play with people who are on the same level with you, who have the same goals as you. If you only care about world first or world 10th, go find those people. If you want to make friends, personal connections, find those people. And I personally, I've been in a couple free companies, and I would lose my mind every time anyone leaves the free company. And I've even sent messages. I sent tells. I'm like, oh man, why did you leave? Because I want to know if there was there drama? Was there something I could have fixed? And someone would be like, oh no, it was for a different coil static. And I'm like, oh, I would never ask someone to leave their free company for a coil static. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but that I think it goes back to what I was saying. Some people's priorities are different. So
Yeah.
they have to go
Oh, yeah.
what their priorities are they won't be happy. It's just if your priorities step on my priorities, or you're you're forcing your priorities on my priorities, that's when I have a problem. Like a speed run, like somebody's like, what the hell is your problem? You're not moving fast enough. Or
Yeah.
trolling in content like we experienced today. And Labyrinth of the
Oh my
Ancients.
God, that was awful. But we mentioned it. So yeah, no, find your people, and your people are the people who have the same priorities. So
Yeah, pretty much play how you want, play how you're going to enjoy it with the people you're going to enjoy. And as long as you're not pushing your version of the game or what you think is right in the game on other people, do what makes you happy.
yep, well, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And I've been in many hobbies that have said that. I might be unhappy for one or two things, but if I'm generally overall happy, it's good. So, okay, done harping on that. There is a Reddit 2015 PAX interview. Was there any other tidbits we wanted to? We'll link it. We do now have a SoundCloud.com page. It's GTFFXIV. We'll say at the end also. But I think we can put links or something there.
Sure.
Yeah. What else did you notice in that interview?
They laughed at something about Yu-Gi-Oh, I think, whenever they described the Astrologian class. I think that was a thing.
Cards.
Yeah, there was a couple of I think there was a couple of times that people laughed, and I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a joke or not. But the Astrologian thing, they compared it to Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's just part of the inspiration there. But I still think it looks cool. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon like we said, but
Yeah. A couple other things they mentioned. They were talking about the Dragon Song War was the name of the war, and that they're the 7 evil worm kings are what we're going to be dealing with. Yeah, and you mentioned the floating continent. We've talked about flying mounts. I know in the video we saw flying chocobos, we saw flying dragons, we saw the single rider airships. We saw something that looked like a griffin, I thought.
yes.
No, there's definitely there's a mount that looks just like the WoW Griffin.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I know. Well, and that was released earlier, and I saw it again, and I'm like, oh, what were you thinking? Why are you so a fucking clone about WoW?
But one of the things you mentioned, you asked us what our favorite thing was from the video, and I just remembered what my favorite thing was from the video. And that was all of the flying mounts with the flying riders going through the sky, having a great old time, and then Bismarck ate them.
Big sky whale.
It was
Oh.
fantastic.
I lagged out, so I need to go back and see a recording. So
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you go take a look because it was really fantastic.
no, stuff should be able to eat your face. I'm sorry. If you're playing this game at high level, you should not be scared of losing once or twice.
No, I mean, you're not going to
they're-
level down. You're not going to lose
This
anything.
isn't 11.
This isn't
This
11,
isn't
yeah.
11. But yeah, don't be. I was in a Titan hard mode, mind you. People were like voting to dismiss after one wipe, and I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
It's a hard mode. There's probably new people in it.
I know, there were 3 new people. All they needed was the simplest of explanations, and we won. No big deal. But
Where-
what else?
Where did I read this? And I don't really want to start a topic of something I haven't researched, but somebody, and I think it was on the official forums, they had hinted to that crafting, future crafting, would be
Specialization?
specialized.
Okay. There are people losing their minds. There was maybe one. I watched the letter. There was like one translated line that says something about specialized crafting. And here's where I stand. I am in favor of specialized crafting. The fact that everyone in this game, other than desynthesis, can do anything and everything really is a bad decision for me. So if I don't only want to pick one craft, but if I can pick 2 or 3 or 4 crafts that are like, but I have to then forego the other crafts, I'm with it. I'm happy.
I mean, I don't mind being able to make base mats on all my crafting classes, but I would like to be specialized in one role. It's going to be way better for the markets. I think it's gonna stop and this could be bad logic, but I think it's going to stop RMTs from picking apart some aspects of the market as well, because you have to get special. And there's been some speculation that the new outfits go along with that, that you would have to have the outfit plus a certain specialization. So it would really limit you in your role. Like you could maybe only pick one outfit or something. That may not be the case, but I think it's a good idea.
Well, and I know a couple of us have done the hand-ins for artisan gear, right?
Yes.
So you cannot cheat that. You have to buy the mats or you have to gather the mats, but you have to craft the item yourself. Right? It might take time, it may take money, and you need to know what you need to know what your buttons do. I'm getting to the point in crafting where I need to know what my buttons do. I cannot copy and paste a macro from the internet. I need to know what my buttons do. I am in favor of that going forward. I want easy stuff to be easy to get, but I want the top stuff to be, you need to prove yourself. And I have to prove myself in coil. Why shouldn't I have to prove myself in culinarian?
Yeah. Agreed.
For the best stuff. I'm not talking this stuff, I don't need to prove myself to make a, flower pot for my house, just for the best stuff.
No, definitely. There should be levels to it. I mean, you should have to work for whatever it is that you want to be amazing at. Just like you'd have to buy better gear to tank a harder dungeon, you should have to craft better gear to make a better product. It just follows.
However, I do go back and forth. If I'm willing to put in the time and the effort, should I not to be able to master everything?
That's why your answer kind of surprised me, honestly, Yelta, because you are a completionist. You like to be able to check off all the boxes. And that would, in some ways, if you think about it in certain ways, be limiting you from completing everything.
But think about grand companies, right? I can master all the grand companies, but not without switching and starting from the beginning, right? So if I might be able to master every fucking craft at the max level, every fucking DOM and DOW at the base level, at max level, but I have to focus on it for now. So that, to me, seems to split the difference between I can do everything on one character, and I do think this game wants you to do everything on one character, which is why desynthesis took me by surprise. I expected it to be expensive, but not limited. It's limited. I'm okay with that, though. But once someone can do everything on every class, it becomes, it nerfs the value. Right?
I actually agree. No, I think specializing is actually a good thing. I was just curious on your take of it from a completionist point of view.
Oh no, I'm torn. I'm totally torn. I want to do everything on my character on Excalibur named Yelta Sumizu. I want to do all the things. But I don't think I have to do all the things this month. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like I can do all the things next month or in a year. I can't do all the desynthesis today, but in 3 months I can do 2 more or whatever.
I just find it so hard to make a profit on some things if everybody can make it. I'm looking at it from a market board standard. If everybody can make certain kind of glue or a certain kind of potion or certain kind of thing, then it's like, well, it diminishes it. RMTs are already diminishing the market on some level. And if I could be, everybody is like, oh, well, they're going to get on the goldsmith bandwagon with this. Well, not necessarily. If everybody's going goldsmith, I might do my carpenter or I might do my alchemist or something else.
That's the thing is, if you have to specialize, like you said, from a market standpoint, you just dropped the percentage of people who have not only the will to do it, but the ability, Like, I don't craft. Well, that's not true. I'm crafting now. I don't enjoy crafting. It's never going to be my specialty. It's not something I love doing. But because of the completionist thing, I want them all to 50 before the patch drops. Or expansion, excuse me. But I am crafting and putting things on the market board that if we have to pick specialties, I'm definitely not going to be putting, say, if I specialize in culinarian and not in carpentry, I have no shot at putting up carpentry stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, no, it's just,
I feel like work, not even hard work, but work time commitment should equal value. And I feel like a person who plays lots, crafts, gathers, does, kills monsters, you should benefit over someone who can only play crafting or gathering or if you play less, you should get a feeling of satisfaction and an accomplishment, but it should not be more than me who might play more or have, work harder at just logging in should not win you the game, right?
yeah, there's something to be said for putting in the time. I mean, there should be, this gets me back to the crafting, gathering versus doing content, argument that I should not be able to win the game as a botanist. I shouldn't be able to save the world, save
As
the
a
princess
weaver,
as weaver. Yes. I mean, occasionally you do save the day as a weaver in storylines and things, or make the guy get the girl, whatever. But it should not have better reward than someone who is actually going and farming content and putting in the time to level things up and to, desynthesis and gathering the demo materia and, putting it all together as a finished product. And no, I agree with you.
Yeah, there's people who are well ahead of me. Crafting, gathering, I'm a black mage. There are black mages well ahead of me. There are, there's lots of people ahead of me, and I'm not butthurt about that. I will get there when I'm ready. But I would prefer there to be, I think time and effort should equal reward. And that's what, well, and then let's not even bring in RNG, right? So this is too long for this episode, but I want to be the best triple triad master ever, but my luck sucks, right? I might have challenged the, triple triad guy 100 times more than you or 200 times more than you, but I got nothing. Whole different episode, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a whole different. I think next time we should do a little,
Let's talk about drops. Let's talk about luck. Let's talk about
we'll talk a little bit
about
Gold Saucer's been out a couple weeks and where are things at now and what do we think of everything. But yeah, no, I agree with you that, for instance, like you have gotten dungeon drops like crazy for triple triad cards, where I have gotten one single card out of a dungeon and a bunch from NPCs, whereas you've gotten many less from NPCs than you have from dungeon drops.
Right.
So yeah, no, it creates a different experience for everyone, and I think that's actually can be a good thing to a certain extent, but that's a whole nother conversation and we're already running long, so
yeah. All right, well, what else? Let's see. So we know when the expansion's coming out, so everyone prepare. Request your vacation, level up stuff for how you want to be. I'm so sorry it's not technically spring, but
3 whole
whatever.
days.
Oh, 3 days.
Oh my God. There were people who were like, I was in the Twitch chat early and people were like, it's going to be sooner than you expected. And no, it wasn't. It is exactly when I expected. I expected end of June, personally. because I didn't think end of May was early enough. So, all right, the game is coming out. The expansion's coming out.
Oh, and
Let's
then
go.
Mac. Did we mention Mac?
No.
Oh my God! Yes, you are gonna have native support on Mac.
June 19th. Mac release.
We're getting DX11, right? Also.
Yes, they're saying spring,
Yes.
but spring is summer.
Well, I thought,
in some, right?
but I thought that was also coming. I don't care. DX11's coming. There are screenshots of it, and I think it looks good.
It looks really good.
Yeah. And I don't expect, when I play an MMO, I do not expect cutting edge graphics, right? I think Final Fantasy XIV does really good. It might be slightly less intricate than 14 when it came out in 1.0, but I think to make everything run for PS3, PS4, and PC, several versions of PCs, graphic cards, whatever, I think the game looks good.
I think the game.
Well, and I do think you PS3 players, I think they have hinted that it's not going to be supported forever, right? I think there was.
I honestly don't know.
I think
Which
there
one?
was a
PS3?
message.
Is that what you said?
PS3, 3.
I hope it's not supported forever. That was part of 11's problem, supporting PS2 as long as they did. I think.
Yeah,
People
I'd
debate me on
have to
that, I
find. Well, I'd have to find the actual quote, but I thought there was a dev quote that was like, "Heavensward is the last expansion that will be supported in PS3." Well, like if an expansion is a year, maybe more, that's probably good enough. In my mind, if you're on a PS3 and you can't afford a PS4, you need to open a savings account. I'm not trying to be
Budgeting by
mean.
Yelta.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, you need to pick your priorities in life. All right. What else?
I think we're at last call time.
All right, we're at last call. Any last call? Any last comments?
I have two small things. I was just looking at things that develop or the community reps had commented on the forums. One of the things that has been called out was random with the triple triad. That a lot of people have been complaining that it's too difficult. And one of the responses on that was that not much time had passed since it made its release. And so it probably feels kind of a bit more difficult due to the fact that players do not have enough cards yet. They basically just said, go buy more cards or go earn more cards or go play for more cards and get over it. And then the other one related to that, one of the comments made was someone mentioned that I thought this was a great idea, that they should put something in the challenge log related to the gold saucer.
I think that's an awesome idea. I honestly, when I was playing the gold saucer the first and second week, I was a little bit surprised I didn't see messages like when I fish or gather or craft that was like, you're one away from, winning it. Yeah. I think it needs to be in the game. There needs to be, some of us love doing our challenge log. And we need to be like win one chocobo race a week, win one triple triad thing a week. Get
someone said
back in there.
Someone used a couple of them for like defeat this many NPCs in a game of triple triad, and they reward you in maybe MPG. Or place in the top 5 in 5 races or something.
Well, that Fenrir mount is a ways away.
Yes. Yeah.
and mind you, I have very little sympathy who people were really sad they couldn't get the Fenrir mount by now, but it's like, you know what? Long-term goal, people. I play a main character and 2 alts, and my alts and my main character have 2 or 3 pieces of glamour gear from there. You know what? I'm not crying though that I don't have a Fenrir mount. It's a casino. It's gambling.
Right. Some of these achievements are going to take a very long time to get. They're the one with the jumbo cactpot does seem like, whoa, that's a lot of jumbo cactpot to get that achievement. But you're playing for the long haul.
I think they want it to be long term, right? So when 3.0 comes out, part of me, now mind you, considering the rest of the game, I feel like when 3.0 comes out, they're going to be like, there's going to be 2 jumbo jackpots a week, right? Or
and
something.
yeah, and in Heavensward, there's going to be more NPCs to play triple triad against, maybe a new rule. I think they'll keep adding to it and giving us incentive to go back and play and add more cards and get new abilities for our chocobos and level them up even further. I do think it's so expandable that I think we're going to be enjoying it for a really long time.
Well, they already said they're probably going to add like 20 new cards in triple triad, I thought. So they're thinking of the future. I really feel like the devs do know what we want. They might get it wrong once in a while. They might not understand the 1 or 2, 3% who are like crabby, but I do feel like they get most of what we want, and they're going to make it accessible. They're going to make it easier as time goes on.
Definitely.
Okay, is it closing time, people?
I think we're there. We should put the chairs up on the tables and shut down the lights.
Wipe down the tables, put the chairs up. You have to go somewhere, but you can't stay here. What's that? What's that quote? I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here.
I don't know. I got to down this drink. Hold on.
And I know if I down this one, I will slur my way through the closing time. All right. If you have comments, questions, concerns, hate mail, love mail, anything, email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. We also have a Twitter I think it's at gtffxiv. We do have a SoundCloud now. If you somehow got this podcast some other way, come to soundcloud.com/gtffxiv. It's Gather Together Final Fantasy XIV. Personal plugs, Ruby.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale, RUBICONVALE.
Kariri.
I am also on Twitter at Kariri Sumasu. KARIRISUMASU. And Yelta?
Yelta Sumasu on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. I do have one quote from a free company member. Zante said about Machinist, "Look, guys, I have a gun."
he was truly unimpressed with the Machinist. As much as he was unimpressed with the Machinist, his other quote was better, I thought. He was looking at the Astrologian video, and his comment was, "Oh my god, the casting animation, take my money now."
It was pretty hot. Yep. All right, 3.0 looks hot, guys.
It's on its way.
Talk to you guys next week. Have fun. Have a drink on me.
Good night, everybody.